Welcome to today's episode of the Obsessively Outspoken podcast and YouTube channel. My name is Remington. I am sitting here today with Miriam, Heather Ferri, author of Victim to Victory. We've had plenty of conversations about trauma, and Miriam is here to talk a little bit more about that extensively. Thank you, Miriam, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. So can you please tell us what led you to Heather?
Yes. So prior to starting to work with Heather, I had been working on correcting my health for 7 years, I think, by that time. And I still had residue issues from the health issues I've been dealing with. And I had chronic fatigue syndrome, depression, anxiety, mood swings, adrenal fatigue, you name it. There were so many things that I was dealing with. And I was just done, and I was, so I pray a lot, and 1 week I decided to fast and pray and do a breakthrough prayer, and that week I came across a talk that Heather was having, and it talked about childhood trauma and how it was related to health issues, and I felt that I had to go there. I actually heard the voice saying, go. So I attended Heather's talk and learned that unless I got rid of the childhood trauma that was in me, my brain would not be able to fully heal. And if my brain is not fully healed, my body will not heal. And that it was interconnected, that the brain had to heal first for the body to heal as well. So that's how I ended up becoming a Heather's client. Because I realized that all of the health issues I have dealt with for the past 3 decades of my life were all related to childhood trauma that was still within me, that never came out of me.
Okay. Can you tell me how different Heather program is to other therapeutic programs that are out there?
Absolutely. So prior to starting to work with Heather, I had done a lot of other alternative healing modalities. And so, I read books about healing, and I saw other energy healers who performed different modalities such as Reiki and Psychic K and emotional code and theta healing. People who are in that field will know what it is. I also changed my diet drastically. I implemented exercise and lifestyle habits that were supposed to lead to health. And then I implemented prayer and meditation. And the other biggest 2 issues that were of psychological nature I was dealing with was yelling at my children and having a desire to control everything and everyone in my life, which was extremely heavy on me and on people around me. They felt suffocated. And also I was verbally abusive. And a time came in my life when I did not like that part of me anymore. And I became aware of that part of me, and I wanted to get rid of it. And I couldn't. Again, I read books about it, attended workshops, did talk therapy for years, and talked to the other parents and other people who dealt with those issues, how they dealt with it, how they cleared them out of themselves. And anything that I was doing was not working. They would give me temporary relief and temporary impact on my behavior, but it wasn't long lasting. The behavior would come back. And I was just at a loss at that point, so I said, I need to give it a try. And when I started working with Heather, after 3 months of doing consistent work, I started seeing big shifts in my behavior. It wasn't controlled anymore. Prior to that, I knew it was the right thing to do, and I tried so hard to control my behavior and do the right thing. But after 3 months of working with Heather, it became a part of me. It just started flowing through me. It wasn't my mind moving me to do it. It was my whole being doing it through me. And I actually started developing even a stronger desire to be as kind as possible, as not only to people around me, but to myself as well. So, and I worked with Heather for 9 to 12 months straight, but not only on the issues I came with to work with her, but other things as well, my prosperity mindset and other things that showed up throughout the work. And after a year of solid work, I became solid. I felt that now full healing happened in my mind, body, and soul, that I could go and start shining my light fully.
Based on your experience with this 9 to 12 month paradigm shift that you had working with Heather, what would you say to someone who says, well, my childhood trauma is back in the past. I'm an adult now, and there's really no reason to go back. I'm old, I can deal with it. Do you think that's a defense mechanism that all human beings have built in, and we just kind of lie to ourselves? Or?
Yes. I believe that it's a defense mechanism people create in themselves, because feeling the pain is not a fun thing to do. I was just at a point in my life when I had to make a choice. I live with pain for the rest of my life, or I get rid of the pain and live my life to the fullest. And I made this choice to get rid of the pain because I was done dealing with the pain. And that pain was causing so many health issues in me that it wasn't only affecting me, but it was affecting my children. And my love for my babies moved me to do even more, to try even one more thing, because I was like, I'm done trying everything under the sun. And this was the last thing I was going to give a chance, and thank God it worked. And so I would say that you have to come to a point where you don't want to deal with the pain anymore. You want to get rid of it, and you want to live your life in a way that makes you happy. And it has to be a personal choice, and it's up to them what they want to do. But I can attest that this worked for me, and I believe it can work for anybody who commits to doing this work, because a commitment was a big part of this work.
Were you committed at first, or were you kind of skeptical and not put in 100%?
At the beginning, yeah, of course, I had doubts, as everybody does, and I came in, my ego, my mind fought a lot. You know, I was like, oh, I'm wasting my money, why am I doing this? But the more I did the work, because I had this practice for the past few years that I give a healer a year. And if within a year I see a change, the first 3 months is the trial month for me. But a year, I give a healer, a doctor a year. And if they make me feel better within a year, then I stay with them. If they don't, I fire them and move on.
That's very generous. A year is very generous.
Well, healing takes a long time. People think, oh, I'll take a pill and I'm fine with it and I will just turn things around in a moment. No. I had 30 years of life in me that I had to undo. Do you know what I mean? I started getting abused when I was 5 years old. That real abuse started, physical abuse, verbal, emotional. And I was about 38 when I came to Heather, so count like 33 years of living. First of all, being abused, and then being abused as a child, and being abused in college, being abused in my elementary school, being abused by other adults in my life, then losing my mom when I'm 22, then losing my sister when I'm 28. All that grief and pain of loss, I mean, it all built up to the point that at a certain age, my body was like, I'm done. I don't want to function anymore. I don't want to do anything anymore. I cannot live like this anymore. So I had the choice. I can live my life with all those issues I just listed and basically not live, just exist. But I wanted to live. I wanted to get back to my self where I was happy and enjoying every moment of my life, like a kid.
Right.
And yeah, 3 months were the trial months, but after 3 months, I was sold completely.
Do you remember the moment within the 3 month period where you said, aha,
Yes, I remember. So I started working with Heather in June of 2018, and it was August. And we started with childhood trauma,
okay.
brain healing protocol. And I was home with my children for 2 months straight at that point. And one of the biggest complaints they had, I couldn't stop yelling at them. And it was the first summer when they said, Mom, you did not yell at us, you know that? And that was my victory. I was like, you guys are right. I've been so calm and talking to you in a nice way. That's when it clicked in my brain that, crap, this is working. Like, this is really working. I need to continue. And yeah, and then in September, we moved on to a different brain healing protocol because I had a lot of issues I need to do.
Sure. Well, I'm so happy that you're in a much better place, and I'm excited to see what continues to happen.
So am I. I am super duper excited about what this new year is going to bring, and I feel inside that I'm ready to soar. Not only to fly, to soar.
Absolutely.
And
there is a difference.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for today's episode. Once again, this is Miriam. My name is Remington. Thank you for joining us today at the Obsessively Outspoken YouTube channel. Until next time.